A tree that produces 100 to 120 tons of green biomass per hectare. That's more than most crops can manage. The leaves contain 27% protein when dried, higher than soybeans at 35 to 40%. All 9 essential amino acids, 7 times more vitamin C than oranges, 10 times more vitamin A than carrots, 17 times more calcium than milk, grows in drought, thrives in poor soil, requires almost no water, harvested 9 times per year, ready to cut 40 days after planting. It's called Moringa, Moringa oleifera, the miracle tree. Scientists have been studying it for 50 years. The World Health Organization recommended it. NASA selected it for space missions. India produces thousands of tons. Africa calls it the tree of life. But if you walk into any American supermarket, you won't find it. Ask a farmer what moringa is, and 87% won't know. It's not in animal feed, not in processed food, not in school lunches, not in crop insurance programs, not in university agriculture courses. A tree that could help solve malnutrition, feed livestock sustainably, sequester carbon, and produce protein more efficiently than soybeans, and the agricultural system acts like it doesn't exist. This is the story of how a miracle tree got locked out, not by a conspiracy, but by something more powerful, a system that only recognizes what it's built to recognize. Welcome to Nature's Forgotten Vault. Before we open this vault, if these stories matter to you, the best way to preserve this wisdom is simple. Subscribe, hit the bell, and share these vaults with those who need to remember what we forgot. Moringa oleifera grows 10 to 12 meters tall. One study documented trees growing 6 to 7 meters in a single year. The leaves are harvested in cycles. Cut the tree at 60 to 90 centimeters height, let it regrow, harvest again 33 to 40 days later, repeat 9 times per year. The yields are extraordinary. Studies in Nicaragua documented production of 580 metric tons of fresh matter per hectare per year when planted at high density. Even at moderate densities, moringa produces 100 to 120 tons of green biomass per hectare annually. Compare that to soybeans. The U.S. average is 3.5 tons per hectare. Moringa produces 30 to 50 times more biomass. The nutritional profile reads like it was designed in a lab. Dried leaves contain 23 to 30% crude protein. That's comparable to soybeans, but moringa leaves can be harvested repeatedly from the same tree for years. No replanting, no tilling, no annual seed purchase. The protein quality rivals animal products. All 9 essential amino acids present. Lysine content 6 to 8%, double that of wheat. Digestibility 96.6%, nearly as good as casein at 99.3%. It's drought-tolerant, thrives in marginal soils, fixes nitrogen, provides food for humans, feed for animals, oil from seeds, water purification from seed cake, and green manure for soil. Researchers call it superior to traditional cereals. The FAO calls it one of the most promising candidates for combating malnutrition. So why isn't every farmer growing it? In 2024, a study surveyed 165 small-scale broiler farmers in South Africa. Researchers asked them, "Have you heard of moringa? Do you know you can use it as chicken feed?" The result? The vast majority had never heard of it. These are farmers actively looking for cheaper feed options. Poultry feed is their biggest expense. Moringa can replace 10 to 20% of commercial feed while improving meat quality. Studies prove it works, but the farmers didn't know moringa existed. The researchers identified why. No extension services teach it. No agricultural universities included in curriculum. No government programs promote it. No feed companies stock it. Farmers had no reliable source of information about moringa. This is the pattern everywhere. The U.S. imports $3.3 million worth of Moringa leaf powder annually, mostly sold as supplements in health food stores. But production? In the U.S., virtually none. The global Moringa products market is projected to reach $22.61 billion by 2034, but 98.9% of that market is Moringa seeds for oil production. The leaves, the most nutritious part, remain a niche product. Bulk supply doesn't exist. Processing infrastructure doesn't exist. Supply chains don't exist. A tree that could feed chickens more cheaply than corn and soy sits unused because no one set up the system to harvest, process, and distribute it at scale. Not because of censorship, but because the institutions that teach farmers what to grow, the extension services, the universities, the industry groups, the government agencies, never added Moringa to the list. So why not? Agricultural systems are built around infrastructure. Seed companies, equipment manufacturers, storage facilities, processing plants, distribution networks, crop insurance, government subsidies, all optimized for specific crops: corn, wheat, soybeans, rice. For corn and soybeans, all of this infrastructure exists. Equipment is designed specifically for corn and soy, futures markets exist, crop insurance covers them, universities research them. For Moringa, none of that infrastructure exists in the US or Europe. No certified Moringa seeds available from major seed companies, no insurance products, no extension agents trained to advise on cultivation, no equipment designed for Moringa harvest at scale, no processing facilities to turn fresh leaves into shelf-stable powder, no futures market to hedge prices. A 2024 scientific review stated it plainly. Despite its potential benefits and extensive adaptability, progressive efforts to establish Moringa as a commercial crop have been hampered by challenges such as low investment in research and development. Low investment, that's the key phrase. Moringa isn't suppressed, it's unfunded. Why is it unfunded? Because agricultural R&D is driven by commercial returns. Seed companies invest in crops where they can patent new varieties and sell seeds annually. Moringa is grown from cuttings or saved seeds, no annual seed sales. Chemical companies invest in crops that require inputs. Moringa thrives with minimal fertilizer and pesticides, no chemical sales. The system doesn't fund what it can't profit from repeatedly. Without funding, there's no research. Without research, there's no improved varieties. Without improved varieties, there's no large-scale adoption. Without adoption, there's no infrastructure. Without infrastructure, farmers can't grow it even if they want to. It's a lockout by omission, not malicious, just structural. Malnutrition affects 143 million children under 5 in developing countries. In 1975, the U.S. National Academy of Sciences published a report on 36 underexploited crops that could fight malnutrition. Moringa was ranked at the top. The WHO recommended it. NASA added it to the list for space missions. And then, not much happened. Production remained small. The infrastructure was never built. Because the system that feeds billions is not built to distribute village crops. It's built to distribute crops grown on thousands of hectares, processed in centralized facilities, and shipped through established supply chains. Moringa doesn't fit. The irony, Moringa is almost too easy to grow. You plant a cutting, it grows with minimal care, you harvest repeatedly for years. There's no seed to sell every season, no chemical regimen to push, no specialized equipment to rent, no patents to protect, and that makes it economically unattractive to the companies that fund agricultural development. So it sits in villages, feeding families in small quantities, while the global food system ships corn and soy around the world to feed livestock that will be slaughtered for protein that's less complete and more expensive to produce than Moringa leaves. In Senegal, a project attempted intensive leaf production, 1 million plants per hectare, harvested every 33 to 40 days. They produced 5 tons of dried leaf powder per year. The challenge? Finding buyers. There was no distribution network. In the United States, a few companies have tried to import Moringa powder and sell it as a supplement. The powder sells for $20 to $40 per pound, expensive enough that most consumers can't afford to use it as a staple food, which defeats the purpose of solving malnutrition. The farmers who do grow moringa in the U.S. face hurdles. No certified moringa organic seeds available domestically, no extension agents to advise them, no crop insurance, no processing facilities nearby. It's the same pattern as perennial grains, as amaranth, crops that work, that solve real problems, but exist outside the infrastructure, because the system wasn't built for them. So why does it matter now? The global protein challenge is accelerating. Population growth means we need 70% more food by 2050. Livestock production uses 80% of agricultural land, but provides only 18% of calories. Soy production for animal feed drives deforestation in the Amazon. Moringa offers an alternative. It's a perennial tree. Once planted, it produces for years with no replowing, no annual inputs, no erosion. The protein is digestible by humans, offering a plant-based alternative to animal products. The trees sequester carbon. Moringa's CO2 absorption rate is 20 times higher than other plants due to its fast growth. Climate change is making conventional agriculture more precarious. Droughts devastate corn, heat waves reduce soy yields. Moringa thrives in hot, dry conditions. It doesn't need irrigation. It doesn't require fertilizer. But planting millions of moringa trees at scale requires seed availability, processing infrastructure, market access, government support, training for farmers, investment in drying facilities, none of which exist. In 2024, researchers in South Africa concluded addressing these issues will require concerted efforts from researchers, policymakers, and industry stakeholders. We know moringa works, we know it solves problems, but unless governments, universities, and companies decide to build the infrastructure to support it, farmers won't grow it at scale. This is not the first time. Amaranth, banned by Spanish conquistadors, forgotten for 500 years, rediscovered in 1975 by the same National Academy of Sciences report that highlighted moringa. Still underutilized. Perennial grains like kernza, planted on 3,000 acres in the U.S. versus 300 million acres of annual crops. The pattern is the same. Solutions exist. Science validates them. But the infrastructure doesn't exist. And the infrastructure doesn't exist because companies that profit from existing systems don't fund it. Moringa outproduces soybeans in biomass per acre. It provides more complete protein. It grows with less water, less fertilizer, less inputs. It could feed chickens, pigs, and humans more sustainably than current crops. It could combat malnutrition in Africa. It could sequester carbon while producing food. It's been studied for 50 years. The data is clear. And yet, walk into a farm supply store and ask for moringa seeds. Walk into a university agriculture department and ask for advice on growing moringa at scale. Call your crop insurance agent and ask for a policy. The answer will be the same. We don't do that. Not because it doesn't work, not because it's not better, but because the system wasn't built for it. The story of moringa isn't about a villain. There's no corporation that patented it and buried the research. There's no government that banned it. There's no conspiracy. It's about something more insidious, a system that only recognizes what it's built to recognize, a system where crops need infrastructure to succeed, and infrastructure is only built for crops that generate recurring revenue. Moringa outproduces soybeans in biomass per acre. It provides more complete protein. It grows with less water, less fertilizer, less inputs. It could feed chickens, pigs, and humans more sustainably than current crops. It could combat malnutrition in Africa. It could sequester carbon while producing food. It's been studied for 50 years. The data is clear. And yet, walk into a farm supply store and ask for moringa seeds. Walk into a university agriculture department and ask for advice on growing moringa at scale. Call your crop insurance agent and ask for a policy. The answer will be the same. We don't do that. Not because it doesn't work, not because it's not better, but because the system wasn't built for it. The story of Moringa isn't about a villain. There's no corporation that patented it and buried the research. There's no government that banned it. There's no conspiracy. It's about something more insidious, a system that only recognizes what it's built to recognize, a system where crops need infrastructure to succeed, and infrastructure is only built for crops that generate recurring revenue. Moringa works. Farmers in India know it. Families in Africa know it. Scientists know it. NASA knows it. But the agricultural industry, the seed companies, the equipment manufacturers, the universities, the extension services, the government agencies doesn't know it, or doesn't care, or can't profit from it enough to build the infrastructure. And so, a miracle tree, proven for decades, sits on the margins, growing in villages, sold in health food stores, unknown to most farmers, unfunded by most research programs, unsupported by most governments. The answer to why Moringa isn't everywhere is the same answer as why Kernza isn't everywhere, why amaranth isn't everywhere. Because the system that decides what we grow, what we eat, and what we build wasn't designed to include them. And until the system changes, they'll stay invisible. Not suppressed, just forgotten. Not buried by Monsanto, buried by a system that doesn't see profit in trees that grow too well on their own. If this vault opened something for you, subscribe to Nature's Forgotten Vault and hit the bell. Every like and every share preserves what they tried to erase or forgot. The next vault opens soon.